is also a little bit slow right now. We go on YouTube. What's going on Instagram? Let me get this up. Oh, we got some noise, some feedback. I won't make that quiet. There we go. One moment. Let me get this up. One, two, three. There. I'm gonna try one more time with TikTok. See if I can go live on TikTok. And let's see. Unable to go live. Try again later. That's what they're telling me on TikTok. But I know some workarounds. I've been around when it comes to the internet. Let me see if I can figure this out. While I'm waiting for this to get figured out over on TikTok, we'll see if this works, and if it doesn't work, we're still going to keep doing this. So let me see. Someone said yours just started working. Brandon said mine just started working. No, I'm using mine in a little bit different way, but we'll see. I'm going to restart. I'm going to restart my device, see if it'll start working. We are live though on LinkedIn. Facebook is up, Rumble and X are up, and YouTube is up. So I want to talk about this ban that TikTok has, and 4 key things that everybody needs to understand about what happened with this ban and how it will affect all of you moving forward, especially if you happen to be a heavy social media user. So I won't take too much time here today. Let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Baldwin. Many know me as Dre all day, former 9-year pro athlete, author, 35 books on 4 TEDx talks. Create this brand called Work on Your Game. What we do here is we help high level performance your highest level, do so consistently and produce higher level results. Now people are saying that TikTok is back. I'm looking at it. Let me see. Well, I'm opening TikTok, but let me see if I can actually start a stream, because I'm trying to start a live stream and it has not been working. So let's see if it'll let me. It's still telling me it can't start a live stream. So let me check my network, see what network I'm connected to, and see maybe if that has something to do with it. So I'm gonna disconnect the network and see if that works. And I'm still not getting it. So I don't know how many of you saying that's back. I have not noticed that it's back. I'm looking at it right now. I'm seeing posts. I see posts going up, but I'm not updates to the posts or anything like that. None of the posts are updated, and I'm still trying to do a live stream. It's still not letting me do a live stream. So I don't know any of you saying that it's back. I see the stuff that got posted on my, like from my automatic are showing, but I'm not seeing anything else. So I don't know what y'all are seeing that I'm not seeing. But anyway, here's the 4 things that I want to tell you about this ban. First of all, I believe this is actually a good it's a good idea by TikTok to frame things the way that they frame them. So all of you who logged into TikTok earlier today, you saw the notification that they had on there when you first got on this morning. A lot of people were screenshotting it and posting it, and it said the following, quoting, "Sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the US. Unfortunately, that means you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned." So this is the notification that everybody saw on TikTok this morning when you tried to log into TikTok. Now I'm hearing some of you say that TikTok is back now. You're able to access it. I'm looking at it and I'm not able to access it. So I don't know what y'all are accessing and I'm not accessing, but I'm able to access it. Even if I use a private network, I can get onto TikTok, but I'm trying to start a live stream on TikTok and it's still telling me you cannot start a live stream right now. Please try it again later. That's what it keeps saying. So let me try it one more time. And if you try to do a live stream on TikTok, tell me if you're able to do it, because I'm not able to do it. It says unable to go live. Try again later. That's what it keeps saying. And Moby says, on my TikTok, I can not see messages or any new posts, but it's playing one video over and over again. Yeah, that means you're not that means you're not on TikTok. That means you're seeing what your cache you're seeing, but you are not actually connected to TikTok. If that's what it's giving you. So I'm gonna get back on the private network and try this. What I did was I got on the private network and tried it, and then I restarted my phone. It worked. But then when I just tried to go live, it didn't work. So I am seeing updated. I don't know if these posts are updated because I don't know when people post it. But as I'm looking through it, I can see my content and I can see stuff that I posted, and allegedly is updating the stats. And I'm looking at TikTok now, and it is updating posts. It is giving me updates on posts, and it's showing all my data and things like that. But I'm not sure that this is actually working. So let me see if I did a live stream over here see if I try to do a live stream from my phone and see what happens. So done, go live, and it says unable to go live, try again later. So I think TikTok is not allowing live streaming right now. So that's what I'm saying. So anyway, back to what I was going to say. Number one, this is actually a good look for TikTok to frame it this way, because what they're taking the whole problem they're putting in the United States government. They're framing it as a U.S. government put this law in that is basically banning us from operating. And the law, for those who don't know, Donald Trump floated the idea out there and he put in some executive orders about it. Joe Biden canceled those executive orders when he came into office. All right, this all happened for people to understand. I was looking at ChatGPT was laying this whole thing out for me because I was asking them specifically how this all happened. So what happened is in August 2020, Donald Trump threw out executive orders targeting TikTok because he cited national security due to TikTok being owned by a Chinese company. And when I'm actually live on TikTok, I don't even mention the country China because they'll kick me off the app for even saying their name or saying the names of other countries or the names of certain individuals. I know because I've been kicked off multiple times for saying the wrong name. So since I'm not live on TikTok today, I can say this. So the administration said no possible fears of data breaches because the Chinese government could access it. And they were trying back in 2020 to get ByteDance, which is the company that owns TikTok, to sell the company to someone who was more over here in the Western world, United States. Then in 2021, when Joe Biden became president, he revoked those executive orders. But what he did was initiate a comprehensive review to assess the security risks posed by foreign-owned applications like TikTok. So Joe Biden canceled what Trump started, and then he started his own comprehensive review on TikTok. Then years went by. Then in March of 2024, which is less than a year ago, Joe Biden signed a bill that mandated that ByteDance, that's the company in China that owns TikTok, they sell TikTok within 9 months or will be banned in the United States. The reason he gave them 9 months is because today is the last day of Joe Biden's presidency, and tomorrow Donald Trump gets inaugurated and he's the one who's going to be in charge. So they gave them up until today to do it. And at 12:01 a.m., since it hadn't been sold yet, and then TikTok decided they had to shut down also because what the law did was also it told Amazon Web Services and Oracle, those are the servers that allow TikTok to run its platform. The government told them they can no longer allow TikTok to operate on their servers. So even if TikTok said F you to the United States and said, we're going to keep running the app, they couldn't run it because they have no server upon which to run their app. In other words, they don't have any land in which to host what they're doing. So the U.S. government put the squeeze on TikTok, and now we don't have access to TikTok. So people saying that Donald Trump started this is technically he did start it, but the person who pushed it through was Joe Biden. So what Joe Biden did in March of 2024, he signed a bill that mandated TikTok be sold to a U.S. approved buyer. In other words, he told TikTok, you own this company, and the only way you are allowed to sell this company is if you sell it to someone who we approve of. It's your business, but you got to sell it to someone who we approve of, or we will not allow you to operate in our country. That's the law. That's the bill that Joe Biden signed in March of last year. So anybody telling you that Donald Trump is the reason for this, what they're doing is playing a semantics game. Did Donald Trump start the look into TikTok? Yes, he did. But the executive order that Donald Trump put in to start the look into TikTok got canceled by Joe Biden. All right, that's an absolute fact. Joe Biden canceled that executive order by Donald Trump, along with a bunch of other executive orders, such as protecting the southern border of the United States. He canceled it when he came into office. And then what he did was start a new look into TikTok. And then in March of last year, he told them they had to sell. Donald Trump didn't do the selling thing. Joe Biden did the thing to, you got to sell TikTok. Then in December, the Supreme Court agreed to hear arguments about this because this went always to the Supreme Court. TikTok was fighting it, went all the way to the Supreme Court. January 9th, which was 10 days ago, a group of lawmakers submitted a brief urging the Supreme Court to overturn this decision. So a bunch of people went to the Supreme Court on TikTok's behalf and said, Supreme Court, please don't let this happen. Y'all should actually let TikTok keep doing what it's doing. Do not ban TikTok. And then what happened on, January 20th, it didn't even happen yet. This is ChatGPT. They're saying that Donald Trump plans to delay the ban's enforcement by 90 days to explore potential suitors, including facilitating a sale to U.S. interests. In other words, Donald Trump is kind of furthering what has already been put in. And the reason that he's doing that is because Joe Biden, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not an executive order by Joe Biden. It was a bill signed by Joe Biden, and the president can't just go around undoing bills. You can't do that once it's been signed by the president. So Biden signed the bill into law and is there. All Donald Trump can do is work around it, and working around it, he may delay the enforcement by 90 days. So right now it's banned. And right now it's kind of a limbo area because it's the weekend and tomorrow's Trump's inauguration day, and Donald Trump's going to have like a million things to do his first day in office. Hopefully he goes and gets this ban lifted as quickly as possible, or delays it as quickly as possible, so that people can actually get on TikTok and talk, because tomorrow is going to be a good day for streaming, because tomorrow I am going to be doing a stream about Donald Trump part 2. Oh, dog, I see you over there on YouTube. Yeah, I usually don't stream on Sundays. Tomorrow I will be streaming at my normal time, and I'm going to be talking about Donald Trump coming in, and hopefully I get my TikTok audience engaged there. But if TikTok is banned, then I can't do it. So who knows if I'll even be able to go live on TikTok tomorrow, because I can't go live on TikTok today. I'm trying right now, while I'm talking to you all, I'm trying to start a live stream, and TikTok is not even allowing the live stream to start. Because when I'm pushing the button to go live, it says unable to go live, try again later. It keeps saying that, even though when I to just the posts on TikTok, it looks like I'm scrolling through posts and the posts are coming up. So it looks like it is allegedly working, but it won't let me do the live stream. So who knows? It may be checking the network connection. I have used different networks, different locations, and is working in some ways, not working in other ways. So this is the situation that we have with TikTok. So what I'm saying overall, they said they're in the process of restoring. Then people are saying it's no longer banned. Again, I'm trying to go live on TikTok. It's not working. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if any of you has tried to go live on TikTok. I tried to go live. It's not working. So has any of you tried to go live on TikTok? Because I don't see it. So I'm looking up on X, which is where I get most of my news. They're saying the latest news on TikTok right now, they said, yeah, I'm not hearing anybody saying that. So people are saying TikTok is back. Happy birthday. Some people saying I opened TikTok and it works. Then I see a bunch of people saying TikTok is back, but I'm not able to live stream on TikTok. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the live stream option. That's really what I use TikTok for. I don't really read or look at anybody's posts on TikTok. I just stream and I turn it off. So, you can't go live with TikTok. Somebody saying about live, but it's open, but no live stream. So I guess that's what it is. So it looks like TikTok is working back online with limited services, but cannot go live. That's what everybody is saying. So you can't go live on TikTok, but you can use TikTok. It seems like what people are saying. Live videos. Yeah, I'm just looking about people talking about the live streams. Couldn't go live. Oh, this person said I couldn't live without it. I couldn't go live without it. I said I can't live without it. Let's see. TikTok access. Yeah, so we're still trying to figure this out. All right, so still no live stream access on TikTok. That's the thing we're dealing with. So back to my points, and I do want to share these 4 points. Number one, this is a good strategic move by TikTok because they're putting all the pressure on the U.S. government and all the users of TikTok, because a lot of people use TikTok a lot more than they use other apps. They're going to be talking to the government or reaching out to the government and making noise and saying, hey, get this app back on, because this is the app that we like to use the most. And that's going to put pressure on the Trump administration as they come in tomorrow and do something about it. That's point number one. Point number two is this is a very bad look for the United States government as a whole, regardless of who the president is. Now, I'll just explain to you, Joe Biden is actually the reason for this. Joe Biden did this. Joe Biden is the one who signed the bill that forced TikTok to sell within a certain amount of time. Now, Donald Trump initiated it, but again, Joe Biden is the one who pushed this through and made it what it is here today. This is a bad look for the U.S. government because this is censorship. That's what this is. This is censorship, because the pretext that the U.S. government is using for this whole TikTok situation is they're saying that it could possibly be a national security threat if TikTok, because TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, and we know that China and the United States are not friends politically. So they're saying because TikTok is owned by a Chinese-based company, and that the freedoms that we have in America are nothing, the freedoms that they have in China are nothing like we have here in America. They're saying that the Chinese government could pressure the owners of TikTok to pass information about you and I, us American-based users, over to the Chinese government, and they could use that information against us. That's the pretext. And the other one is that China could be planting misinformation, quote unquote, inside the app to influence American ears and American viewers. So first of all, when it comes to the Chinese spying on Americans, first of all, if you're going to say that that's something that's happening or could happen, you got to have some proof. And the United States government does a lot of things without having proof. If you didn't know, they have no proof of this. They have no evidence of this whatsoever. Yet they're using it as a pretext to ban TikTok by just using people's whatever negative energy people have towards China. I do not agree with this. The other one, the other pretext is that there could be some quote unquote misinformation pumped through the TikTok app into the eyes and ears of American users who are using TikTok. That's bullshit. And this is censorship. Even if there was misinformation coming from TikTok to us, and we're using TikTok and we're getting information just pumped to us all day, every day, I got a right to that. I got a right to misinformation. If I want to hear what people call misinformation, there's actually no such thing as misinformation. You're either telling the truth, you're lying, or you just don't know what you're talking about. No such thing as misinformation. If you know you're giving somebody bad information, you're lying. So this phrase is just a bullshit phrase. But even if I wanted to consume what people call misinformation, I have a right to misinformation. I can listen to whatever I want. I can read whatever I want. I can watch whatever I want. And the United States government does not have a say in the quality of what I listen to. They do not have a say in what I listen to and read. And they do not get a say in whether or not what I'm listening to is something that I should hear or should not hear, regardless of what they think about it. So if they think I'm listening to a bunch of bullshit all day, you can think that all you want, but you cannot take away my right to access it if that's what I want to listen to. If I want to listen to someone saying a bunch of misinformation all day, I have a legal right to that. That is the right to free speech. The right to free speech is someone's right to say what they want to say here, as long as they're not saying anything that creates a clear and present danger. And also a right of free speech is my right to listen to it if that's what I want to hear. The government has no say in that. They can't overreach and say, oh, well, we're going to block you, Dre, from consuming TikTok because we think TikTok might be giving you bad information. So what? If I want to hear bad information, then I'll take in bad information. This is censorship right here. So even if you're not a fan of China, even if you don't use TikTok, even if you believe in this nonsense concept of misinformation, even if you are yes on all three of those, you should never be a fan of the United States government deciding what you can and cannot consume on the basis of they think it might not be useful information or is not good information or is not quality information. The United States government puts out a bunch of bullshit. They aren't censoring themselves. So if we're censoring anyone who's putting out bullshit, then the United States government should be censoring itself for a whole lot of things that they put out that were nonsense. But of course, they don't apply those rules to themselves. They're only applying it to people who they don't like or entities that they don't like. That's why I did a live stream on Lawfare a few weeks ago to help you all understand that if the government wants to come after you, they'll find ways to come after you. Back in the day, they used to just chop your head off and kill you. Now they don't do that because we're in sophisticated society. But what people do these days now is that they use the legal system to shut you down. And it has the same effect, just without blowing everything up. Without chopping your head off, without less bloodshed, they get the same effect of shutting you down, shutting you up, and keeping you from doing whatever it is that you want to do. That's what they're doing to TikTok under this concept of, or it might be misinformation or national security. TikTok is not a national security threat. It's been out for several years. And again, the presidents go and float this stuff whenever they're seeing or hearing something that maybe they don't like. And that's where this all comes from. And this is also because China and the United States are right now pretty much adversaries. The United States and China are adversaries. So I get, on one basis, I get the United States saying, well, we're not going to let a Chinese-based company just operate freely in our country and have so much influence over our citizens because, and if you know anything about China, you know there's no Instagram in China. There's no YouTube in China. The apps that we use over here, there's no Facebook over there. You can't access any of those apps over there, at least not on a basic level. You had to go through a VPN and change locations of your IP and all of that to get access to those apps. But the Chinese government does not allow direct access to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all the stuff that we use over here. They don't allow America to import our apps into their country. So on that basis, I understand the United States saying, well, if we can't send our apps to your country, you can't send your app to our country. On that level, I understand. But here's the part that I do not agree with. Because, and this is where the argument falls apart, the very next step. The United States has made itself this bastion of freedom and hope and openness to where we are allowing anyone to bring whoever and whatever into our country. All right, we've been doing that for several years. We've seen it strongly over the last 4 years of the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris administration. We're allowing as much of anything from outside of this country to come in as we want. We're giving a ton of resources to the countries that are outside of ours. We're bringing people to we're a land of immigrants is what people say. So we're allowing as much information as possible, as often as possible. But now we're going to draw the line at TikTok and China. But what about everything else? What about all the illegal immigrants coming into the country? We're not drawing a line at that. We want to draw the line at TikTok. We want to draw the line in an app because they might be sharing some information that the government has decided they don't want us to listen to. I completely disagree with this. This is censorship, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know what censorship looks like, this is an example of it. The government telling you what you can and cannot listen to, hear, read, or watch based on their own personal whims. And this is not something that we should be okay with, because if they can do it to TikTok, they can do it to other apps. And they can do it to apps, they can do it to people. These apps have a lot of resources and a lot of manpower. What do you think they could do to an individual person? They do that to an app. They can shut you down just as easily. And other thing is, people won't be doing live streams talking about it if people don't know you. The people got lawfare used against them, like the Andrew Tate and Donald Trump and people, and even some of the January 6th people. At least we know about them. At least they're news. If an everyday person has this happen to them, it won't be news because most people don't know the everyday person. But look what they're doing in the app and think what they can do to you if they decide to put you in the crosshairs. So it's a very bad look for the United States government, this censorship that they're doing. The third point is this. If you happen to be a creator, content creator, influencer, TikToker, YouTuber, etc., and you use TikTok as part of your business model, you all need to be very, very careful of allowing these apps to have so much control over this. Say, all right, so now let's see if they'll let me go live. They are saying, so I'm looking on TikTok and they put up a notification here. So maybe they'll let me go live. Let me see if they let me. I'm trying one more time to go live here on TikTok. So yeah, saying the same thing again. So it was showing me that maybe I could go live, and then it was showing me a little notification before I started the live. Now it's giving me the same note again. Can't go live. So let me try it. I'm going to try to restart TikTok again and try to do this again. So what I was saying here, if you are a creator, influencer, TikToker, do not build your entire brand on a platform which you do not own, because this kind of stuff can happen to you. This can happen to you the same way it's happening to a bunch of TikTokers right now. So the TikTokers who are out there, if your entire business, your access to your audience, your access to your fans, your access to the people who give you money was 100% funneled through an app, whether it be TikTok or is funneled through other apps like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or anything else, you're putting yourself in a very precarious position to where the rug can be pulled from under you. You do not want the rug pulled under you. You don't want to leave yourself exposed to any of these applications, because they will chew you up and spit you out. They'll use you. And even though TikTok wasn't planning on doing this, I'm sure, I don't think this was their plan to have this app get shut down in America today. At the same time, if your entire business is built on it, look how easily you lost access to your whole business. Look how easily you lost access to all your customers and all your prospects and all your possible leads just in one day, one click of a button or one stroke of a pen by a president who you have no access to and no influence over. They just shut down all your access to your business, allegedly your business. You realize how quickly it's not yours when you don't have control of the access. This is why if you are a creator, if you are an influencer and you use social media heavily, you must always be pushing people to subscribe to you, follow you, connect with you on platforms which you own. This is why I tell you all, get on my email list. Get my emails by going to workonmygame.com. Let me put the email address in the comments here. I put the email address in the comments on YouTube. I'll put it in here over on Instagram as well. If you're not getting my emails, make sure you go to that link, workonmygame.com. That's where you get on my email list. And if anything ever happens to social media, if all the apps went down all at the same time, you will still be able to hear from me, because I'll be able to send you an email directly. And I send emails out every day, by the way. So if you don't get my emails, I send them out every day to the people who are on my email list. Again, go to workonmygame.com and get on my email list. Yeah, TikTok's still not allowed on the live stream. So this is for, again, all you creators out there. Don't leave yourself in a precarious position of being owned by a social media app. Point number 4. And this one is on a lighthearted note. For those of you who are parents or teachers or grandparents, and you have people in your life who are under the age of, let's say, 30 or even under the age of 25, and they seem to be angling to build a brand and a career and a business through TikToking and YouTubing and Instagramming, maybe this will be a wake-up call for them that might make you happy, grandma, or might make you happy, mom or dad, that now your kids might grow up and decide that they're going to be an astronaut or a doctor or a lawyer again, rather than looking to be a TikToker or a YouTube influencer, as a lot of kids have grown up to be these days. So maybe them seeing how easily people's entire business model can be overturned or flipped upside down when they don't have ownership of their audience, because these apps are designed to make you feel like You don't need ownership to your audience. All you got to do is just go through us. That is a bad idea. Bad idea, ladies and gentlemen. Do not listen to them when they tell you that. Do not just go through them. Don't sell all your products there. Don't think all your business comes from there because you don't have access to the people. You got 80,000 followers on TikTok. Do you have 80,000 people's direct contact information? Do you have their email addresses? Do you have their phone numbers? 80,000 of them? Answer is no, because the apps don't give you access to that information, even though they require it when you sign up for the app. When you sign up for TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, you have to give them either your email address or your phone number. You have to give them one of two. You might have given them both. They have access to all that information about you, but you notice of your followers, Instagram does not tell you their email addresses or their phone numbers. YouTube doesn't tell you the email address and the phone number of people who are subscribed to your channel. TikTok doesn't do it either. Why? Because that's the most valuable information they have. See, now the only way you can access, quote unquote, your followers is to get on TikTok. And if you can't get on TikTok, you can't access your followers. It means they are not yours. Does everybody understand this? So if you don't want to do the work to set yourself up to be in a more powerful position business-wise, and more powerful doesn't mean you don't use social media. What it means is you leverage social media and get people onto platforms that you have control over so that if anything ever happens to a social media platform or a social media platform decides to kick you off in any way, you can still reach your audience. Because if I lost all my social media, a bunch of you who are not on my email list or have any other access to me, you would not hear from me because you don't have another way of hearing from me because I'm not there. So all of you, get on my email list, go to workonmygame.com, Follow me on all the socials that you use. Yes, because I hope social media will stay around. I'll keep using it as long as it does. But I also understand that I'm operating on borrowed land whenever I do a social media post. I put something up on Facebook, I'm using borrowed land. When I do a YouTube video, I'm operating on borrowed land. I do not control this land. I do not own this land. I just have access to it. And as soon as that access goes away, it's over. Someone was saying website. I'm trying to get the live going on TikTok. The live stream is not working on TikTok. So any of you who knows for sure that you can actually go live on TikTok, that's the thing that I haven't been able to do. As I've been doing this live right here, I'm trying to go live on TikTok and it's not letting me go live. So let me see if I can go, even when I try to go to TikTok, the web client on, see, when I go to TikTok on my iPad, what it's doing is sending me right to the TikTok app, which is not what I want. I might have to use the desktop version, but that's what's happening here with TikTok. So let me recap 4 things that I said there. I'll take a couple questions. I saw a couple questions in the comments. 4 things about this TikTok ban. Number 1, this is a good strategic move by TikTok. They kind of have their hands tied behind their back. They're operating in the United States. And if the USA says no, that's it. And again, the United States doesn't say no to anything else coming into this country. So why are they saying no to China coming into this country? I mean, we import billions of dollars worth of material from China all day, every day. Most of you, the clothes that you're wearing right now and the devices that you're holding in your hands and using, all of that stuff was built in China. So we ain't got a problem with China. We ain't got that much of a problem with China. We're importing a lot of stuff from China. Now, all of a sudden, they want to talk about national security and misinformation, which is nonsense. If you want to see how China is actually hurting people, you look at all the entrepreneurs who get their products knocked off by Chinese imitators and basically putting them out of business by undercutting them on price. If the U.S. wants to get serious about what China is doing, they should focus on that, because China is taking a lot of money from American-based companies and creators and manufacturers by knocking off their products and selling cheaper versions of it for half of the price and basically putting a lot of Americans out of business. But they ain't doing anything about that. But they want to, again, talk about this. This is nonsense. Which leads to number 2. This is censorship. If you doesn't know what censorship is, this is a form of censorship when someone tells you what they believe you are going to be allowed, or what they think, or what they mandate you will be allowed to listen to and consume, because they think whatever you might listen to is not going to be good for you. Who the hell are you, United States government, to tell me what I'm qualified to listen to or what is misinformation for me? I might want to hear that misinformation. I might want to hear those lies. I might want to hear that bad information or that propaganda. I want to hear it. If Russia wants to send some propaganda through the United States airways, through the internet, so what? I want to hear it. I want to see what Russia has to say. That's what I want. Why? Because I have freedom of speech. I'm a free citizen and I get to think freely. This means whatever I want to listen to, I'll listen to. The government does not get to mandate to me and tell me we're going to ration out what you can hear and what you can't hear, what you can consume and what you cannot consume. This is censorship. Again, you don't have to be a fan of TikTok. You don't have to be a fan of China. You don't have to be a fan of Donald Trump, Joe Biden, whatever. If you're a fan of the First Amendment, which gives you a right to free speech, that means you get a right to say what you want to say, as long as you're not posing a clear and present danger to other people's freedoms, and you get a right to hear whatever you want to hear, as long as what you're hearing, again, is not something that is technically illegal or, again, threatening people's livelihoods or their freedoms or presenting a clear and present danger. You have a right to hear that. If I want to listen to Russian propaganda all day on Facebook or read it all day on Facebook, I'm allowed to do that. If I want to watch Chinese propaganda and misinformation on TikTok all day, not even to say that's the case, but if it was the case, so what? Who is the U.S. government to tell me what I'm qualified, what is quality for me to listen to? I listen to whatever I want. I don't need the government to give me approval. I'm not asking them for permission. So this is censorship. And any of you who thinks this is okay, this is absolutely not okay. Is that they will do it to TikTok, they will do it in other places, and they'll do it in other places. They will do it to you. So think about what would happen if they decide to shut you down and shut you up. What would you do? At least with TikTok, there's a whole bunch of people talking about it. If they did that to you, how many people will be talking about it? How many people will be fighting on your behalf? But either way, you still got the outcome, but you can't talk. So never celebrate censorship happening in America. I don't care who they do it to. When they kicked Trump off all the social medias on the same day a few years ago, even if you hate Trump, you shouldn't have been celebrating that. Because if they could do it to him so easily, what do you think they could do to you? If you cross the line, you say the wrong thing, you have the wrong opinion, they can do the same thing to you. So don't think this is people who think this way, it will never happen to them. It will happen to anyone if you allow it. This is why we got to push back on this nonsense. Third thing, if you're an influencer or a creator, you must have access to your audience outside of a social media app, because if you lose access to that app or something happens to that app, you lose access to your audience. Therefore, you no longer have a business. If you cannot access your audience directly, you don't have a business. What you have is a job working for that app, because as soon as that app does not allow you to access your audience, you have nothing. That means you never had a business in the first place. And the last piece, at least for those of you who know anybody under the age of 25 or maybe even under the age of 30, at least now, maybe they might think twice about wanting to be an influencer or a YouTuber or a TikToker. And instead, they might go back to want to be a police officer, firefighter, a doctor, lawyer, or a scientist. I'm saying that one as a kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, but it is a serious thing. Y'all know that over in China, the people cannot use TikTok in China the way that we use TikTok, or their version of TikTok is nothing like our version of TikTok. They even have restrictions on it for the youth of how much they can use every day and what kind of material gets posted on the app. They control all of it. Whereas over here, we are allowing a lot of our lives and time to get wasted on these apps, just doing whatever it is that we feel like doing with no discretion for where our time is going. All that said, everybody, let me read a couple questions that I see here. They say that they shut down Parler in 2020. Yeah, I remember Parler. And O-Dog said, people don't understand how valuable personal data is. If your business can't generate leads, personal data is everything. So I see some people saying they were able to get on TikTok, which I am able to do, but I'm not able to go live. That's the thing I want to do. I use TikTok for my live streaming, and they won't allow live streaming. It looks like they're allowing posts. It appears that they're allowing posts. So I'm going to tell all of you, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/DreB, @DreB, D-R-E, the letter B. I will be live Monday through Friday this week, as usual. Hopefully, we get access back to TikTok, so I can go live on TikTok as well. But I'll be live everywhere else: Instagram, Facebook, Rumble, X, YouTube, and LinkedIn, as usual, this upcoming week, 8 a.m. Eastern. So I just wanted to get in here and share this message really quickly. And I will be here tomorrow. All the apps, all y'all who can see me right now, I will be here at 8 a.m. tomorrow Eastern. Tomorrow, the topic: Donald Trump, round 2. Everybody have a great Sunday. Work on your game. Got it.